The discussions we've had with, or I've had with Netball New Zealand has been quite extensive, not only post Northern Tour, but probably for the last 2 years, if I'm going to be honest, but definitely respected what was needed at that moment of time, whether we were in competition, but just making sure that we did what's right for the sport moving forward and for the brand of the Silver Ferns as well. So there's been a lot of words exchanged, but definitely happy with the place that we're currently landed. Yeah, the place where we have landed and both really happy about is that we're going to market. You know, there's probably a few things around that, especially for me, and probably starting this off without disrespecting the opposition and the countries that we play up against, and it's definitely not about them, but our own position and what we expect. So the first thing, I suppose, the integrity of, in my eyes, myself and what I feel needs to be done. You know, whether I like it or not, or we like it or not, we came fourth in the Netball World Cup. For the history of the Silver Ferns, you can't keep just rolling on, and I personally take responsibility for that. Things did change up once we lost Grace, and it makes it hard for us to keep manoeuvring ourselves or to adapt, especially while we're in tournament. But I also feel we had enough with the players that we had, not necessarily to win the competition, but I still feel that we could have got through to the grand finals, and really backing those players that we did have within the team at that time. So, you know, my summation of that is there must have been a gap, there must have been areas that I didn't quite nail, and for that I take responsibility and accountability for the overall program. And as I mentioned, being fourth is not in the repertoire or the regime of what I think needs to there needs to be accountability against that. So I'm putting my hand up for that. Second thing I also think is I've never been fourth in my life, you know, so always been in the top three, so it's a learning thing, and maybe once again when I evaluate myself there must be a gap or areas that I know or I need to learn and be better on, so I put my hand up for that. The third thing I think is what's right for the sport. We always talk about accountability, or I do with the players, and you know, we all have a skin in the game and we all expect everybody to do their job. So like always, we've got to be able to walk the talk, and for our sport do what's right, hence the process that we've come up with, myself and Netball New Zealand, in regards to opening up to the market. The fourth thing that goes with this for me is the pathways. I feel, and I've been on the other side of it as well, is that, you know, you need to have those opportunities that's presented to coaches to coach at the top level. What I've found in some sports, or what has happened in the past, is that you don't get those opportunities because organisations have just rolled people over. And once again, when I reflect on where we were in Netball World Cup and our fourth placing, that's not right to me. So that's an opportunity, I think, for people to be able to back themselves, people in the pathway for it to keep moving, and the opportunity to get a crack at the head coach role, Silver Ferns, which is awesome and what it should be that we aspire to. So when you roll all that up, you know, we'll have the process that's going to open, and irrelevant of whether I get it or not, and just putting it out there, I'm going to go for it. The best candidate will come out with the job, and I'm all for that. Part of the extensive conversations that we have had is exactly around that. Am I the right person? Hence this process will dictate or influence what that's going to be, whether I am or not. And as I mentioned, I am putting my name forward. Is the passion still there? Yes. I identified in myself and evaluated areas that I think I need to work on, and really open about that, and what I feel it's the opportunity for me in the interview process to put myself out. I think you've got to be passionate to do what's right for this team. in this game, and I feel if you're not, then you shouldn't be applying at all. So, you know, it's a hard grind, and definitely sometimes results don't go your way. But if you look at the long game of being netball world champs, or, you know, footing it against the best, passion definitely needs to come into it.